Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
This is Science for Humans with Dr. Jeff Galini.
Welcome back, Dr. Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Carl. How about you today?
Good, good. Is it shocking to you that so many people don't understand? And I just had this discussion this morning in my sauna with a guy. Is it shocking to you that so many people don't really understand the most popular, most prevalent disease in the United States today, which is type 2 diabetes?
It is. As I was talking to you about doing a show on this, it really overtook me to realize that, people don't understand it. They don't want to understand it. They just take their doctor's word that they have it.
Yeah. And they take their doctor's word for how to treat it. And, type 2 diabetes, unless you're in a small minority of people, and we're going to talk about the difference between type 1 and type 2 in a moment, unless you're in a small minority of people, type 2 diabetes is completely reversible. Completely reversible. In fact, I've been working with a woman that just 2 months ago, her fasting blood sugar was 136. She messaged me her numbers this morning. She's 77. No drugs.
Yep.
So, okay. For those out there who aren't really clear, let's talk about the what is. So what exactly is type 2 diabetes?
Well, there's diabetes is kind of the main category. There's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is usually developed in childhood or at a very young age, and it has to do with a damaged pancreas that leaves this organ hindered to produce little or no insulin. Not very common. Type 2 used to be called onset or later age, I forget the exact terminology, diabetes. They now call it type 2. This is a metabolic disease that causes the sugar to collect in the bloodstream. Now, the severity of this, can range from, mild to severe. So there's a lot of different levels within that. But essentially, your body is collecting too much sugar.
And the reality is that the reason that this sugar stays in circulation instead of getting shuttled into muscle and fat, quite frankly, is because of insulin resistance. So when someone develops type 2 diabetes, they have had such high blood sugar levels for so long that the pancreas basically cannot produce enough insulin to keep blood sugar levels below what is considered normal ranges. And insulin is the only thing that actually shuttles the blood sugar out of the blood and into muscle and fat. So this is a disease that by the time you develop the symptoms, you have actually been diabetic possibly for years already.
Yeah, and they have what they call pre-diabetic. I mean, it's kind of interesting that they know it's coming. But again, I don't know. There's so many people that say, yeah, I've been diagnosed with being a pre-diabetic. Well, what are you going to do? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, because the doctors actually say that.
Don't worry about it.
I have friends who've gone to the doctors and they go, oh, my blood sugar was 122 this morning. And I say, what did your doctor say? He says, well, it's okay, but if it keeps going that way, I'm going to be diabetic. And I'd say, well, what did your doctor tell you to do? And he didn't tell me to do anything. I got to believe that doctors must feel like frauds when they do that with a patient. It's like if I was watching you driving drunk and I had the opportunity to tell you, get out of your car and sleep it off, or continue to let you drive drunk, I would be derelict of any human responsibility if I don't get you out of that car.
Well, exactly. And even something simpler. I was in the gym the other night and a couple guys said, hey, could we ask you a question about this chest movement? Can you watch us do it and tell us what we're doing wrong? It just amazes me. But, here's the thing is there are a lot of causes that, cause diabetes. Now, there are some hereditary and some inherited traits that, do contribute. Age, a lot of times, 50 plus. But here's some of the real common denominators. Poor diet.
Yeah.
Improper nutrition, low protein, low fiber intake, refined foods will cause diabetes. Obesity and fat distribution, being overweight. As you said, it causes that insulin resistance. If your body fat is more than 30%, we got to get our weight down. Sedentary lifestyle, sitting around doing nothing.
Yep.
Those people are more prone to diabetes than people who work out only a minimum of twice per week. And then you get on to stress. Okay, we all have stress. Guess what? Working out eliminates stress. Then you got the drug-induced. There's several drugs that cause diabetes. How about that, huh?
Quite a few of the SSRIs and SSRI alternatives, they say right on them that they could cause dangerously high blood sugar levels and coma. One that comes to mind is Abilify. People who take Abilify, they become diabetic. People who take statin drugs. So statin drugs are designed to keep you from getting a heart attack and lower your cholesterol, but they give you type 2 diabetes over long term.
Well, yeah, and your clonazepams, your risperidons, a lot of the, I think those are mood leveling type drugs.
And anxiolytic. They take them for anxiety and stuff, right?
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's like anything, this disease is preventable. And that's why I was so motivated because, as you know, I was out at the Montana Medical Conference. I was invited to come there, present my research, had no idea what to expect. It was up here at the Billings Clinic. And as I'm setting up, next to me is Merck. On the other side is Pfizer. Lilly's right across. You got AstraZeneca. And then there's about 5 or 6 other drug companies that I can't even remember the names. So here I am in the middle of drug haven with all the drug reps. And of course, I'm kind of the bad guy, because they're so territorial about what they do. There's so much competition, and they had no idea what I was there. I wasn't there to sell my stuff to doctors. I was just there to present research and give an alternative to what they were doing. But what I found out in some of the pamphlets and talking to these guys, I was just appalled. I can't even don't even know when to start.
Well, talk about the pamphlets for a second, because these pamphlets, nobody talks about the fact that you can reverse type 2 diabetes in well over 90% of the people who have it through diet and exercise. But they ignore that. They act like as though that doesn't work, right?
This is what they give the doctors. So this isn't something that, we as consumers can go to the pharmacy and say, hey, give me a GLP-1, everything you have on that, or let me see all your SGLT2 inhibitors to reduce my A1-2. This is what they were talking about. So, of course, I went, after they shut down, looking at all their brochures. But here's one, Trulicity, probably not pronouncing that right. But in the beginning, they got a picture of a guy that's 54 years old is his history. He's slightly overweight. And it says, consider Trulicity as an option for this patient. So again, talking to the doctor, he's 55-year-old. He has a history of type 2 diabetes. He has taken, in bold print, small steps to improve his diabetes. He's tried exercise, some oral treatments, but essentially this is saying, hey, you're overweight. We know that you've only taken small steps. You're not going to do anything about it. So here's our drug.
Yeah. And that's exactly the problem. The Americans,
they're telling you what the option is to cure this,
Well, and we had a party for Elisa this weekend for her birthday, and we had a friend who we love come over, and I've really leaned out a lot. I've tightened up my diet. I'm training as hard as I can again. And several people said, wow, you look like you've put on muscle. You look like you're getting lean. I said, yes. And so they were asking me what I do. And I said, well, really, I could tell you what I do. But the real issue is that I do it consistently week after week, month after month, because that's what it takes. And the one girl looked at me and she said, I just want to take a pill. I just want to take a pill and get skinny and look like I did when I was in my 20s. And I thought to myself, that's exactly what's wrong with this country today. Yes. Everybody's convinced that these drugs do something. They don't do anything. They mask the symptoms of diabetes. You still develop all of the other associated disorders, heart disease, glaucoma, cataracts. I mean, I can go through the list. You still develop all those even though you're taking these drugs. It does not cure diabetes. It is a diabetes treatment, which means that you just don't notice the symptoms anymore.
And within this pamphlet, this was the other thing that really got me, because these drug reps were giving me a hard time. They were really rude at the beginning. And, I held my ground. I was professional. They're talking about, our industry, and you guys have no research. And I said, well, geez, look at my research right here. Where's your research?
Right.
And as they started opening up their research, I went to this one pamphlet. And again, they're comparing 3 different drugs, Junivia, Trulicity, and Trulicity 1.5 milligrams. Juniva, 100 milligrams, helped 33%. That means the other 77 had the same result on a placebo.
66. Yeah.
66.
Yeah, they didn't get anything out of it.
And then 59% on the best end. Wow, we did way better. And the rep even said, you know what? He goes, our product didn't do any better than our placebo. And I was like, what?
And guess what? Diet and exercise, and I mean real diet and real exercise, not taking little steps and still eating the crap food, but real diet and real exercise will reverse diabetes in well over 90% of people who have type 2 diabetes.
And that's what I said to the guy from, I think it was Merck. I said, well, geez, first of all, these guys were all overweight. There wasn't one of them that was in good shape. So, but they get free drugs too, they told me. But I said, well, why don't you guys promote health and fitness? Oh, well, we'd be out of business, I mean, it takes billions of dollars to get a drug on the market, and I said, yeah, but why can't you guys do a better job? And nothing. I said, I can't release a product that has a side effect. I said, you guys can, there's no limit. And then they went on to tell me, oh yeah, we expect so many people to die during our trials, and we know that alcohol with this is bad, but we've got to try it. So, people drink alcohol, they take our drug, they die. And then we report it that, hey, don't use alcohol because it could cause death.
Could you imagine how flipped this guy? Well, yeah, we expect some people to die. That means that people are going to die using it as well. Think about that.
I was, like I said, I spent 2.5 days just really amazed. And I thought, I need to learn as much as I can from these guys because, this is what we talk about. This is not right. These guys are going in front of the doctors, trying to present their case. The doctors are so busy, so they just come by and go, you got research? Well, when they stopped by me and I said, I have research and I got no side effects. What? And of course, all the drug guys were just flipped out that I'm, doing my thing and I can actually pass out samples. They can't do that.
Wow. That's amazing to me. That really is. And you know what? We're talking about the side effects. We're talking about the realities of the ineffective or the lack of efficacy in a large group of people in these drugs. Yet people will go in and ask their doctors, hey, I saw a commercial about such and such. Is that good for me? Can I take it? Yeah, sure, you can take it. It's really a sad state of affairs today. Look what I want to do. Let's take a break. And when we come back, in no particular order, let's just rattle through the things that you and I both know can help a person who's suffering from this condition, not disease, this condition of type 2 diabetes. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Science for Humans. Do you know how to properly use carbohydrates to ignite your performance in the field and in the gym? You will now, thanks to this free book by EFX Sports. The Carb User's Guide for Maximum Performance reveals why omitting carbohydrates from your diet can totally crush your gains. Ever wonder how many grams you need for your specific sport? Not anymore. We give you the critical number you need to dominate your competition. You'll even discover the super carb that's taking the athletic world by storm. You must try it to believe it. Go to getcarbolyn.com/carb guide today and get your copy absolutely free. Once again, it's GetCarbolyn.com/CARBGUIDE. The secret word is resveratrol. Email that in to onair@superhumanradio.com to be entered for this week's secret word contest. And good luck. Hey, this is Carl. Start your day just like I do with a high-dose lipospheric vitamin C from Live On Labs. You too can benefit from Live On Labs' lipospheric delivery system. No more pills or powders. That's outdated technology. Live On Labs has the world's most efficient vitamin delivery system, period. Learn a lot more today at liveonlabs.com and benefit from their new reduced pricing.
That's livonlabs.com, Livon labs.com.
Do you want to take tennis lessons? You don't have to wear white or join a country club anymore. Play Your Court sends top-rated instructors to your local court so you can take tennis lessons right in your neighborhood. Visit playyourcourt.com/superhuman to choose an instructor near you and receive $10 off your first lesson or lesson package. If you have questions, call 301-575-6112 and be sure to mention Superhuman Radio to receive your first lesson discount. Playyourcourt.com. Finally, a better way to take tennis lessons. Now, the #1 best-selling non-hormonal anabolic agent at PredatorNutrition.com. Progenadrex has established itself as the category killer. If you're having difficulty gaining muscle while staying lean, you owe it to yourself to try Progenadrex. 100% of store reviews rated it at 5 stars, the highest possible ranking. And today, right now, there are guys pouring their hearts out in the gym with little or nothing to show for it. Don't waste any more time. Go to PredatorNutrition.com today and get Progenadrex, the world's absolute best drug-free muscle gainer. At RUI-products.com, we offer the most accurately dosed high-quality peptides and research chemicals for all your laboratory needs. RUI-products.com is one of the oldest names in the business. Find out why the scientific community trusts RUI-products.com to provide the best products for your research. Click the banner ad on superhumanradio.com today and use the discount code SUPER15 and get 15% off our already competitive prices. If you're going to do research, do it with the best. RUI-products.com.
In today's day and age, it's refreshing to find a company with values that match yours. And it's even more extraordinary when the products they make exceed your expectation in every way. That's what Michael's Naturopathic Programs has done for over 30 years. With more than 50 tried and truthful, high-potency formulas, Michael's Naturopathic Programs give your body what it needs. No more guessing what herb or vitamin, amino acid, or mineral you need. With Michael's, it's all in one bottle. From cardiovascular support, to weight management, to nervous system support, to detox and cleansing, and more. Michael's Naturopathic Programs work. They have to. Michael himself has been giving it to his own family from the very start. You can find Michael's product at your local health food store or go to michaelshealth.com and get your tried and truthful formulation. That's michaelshealth.com.
For the best in real world, no nonsense, result producing and effective strength training, muscle building, and physical culture information, read Brooks Kubic's books and courses. Don't delay. Sprint on over to brookskubic.com and choose from more than a dozen of the best books and courses on the market. Brooks Kubic's training advice has been building strength, transforming physiques, and changing lives for more than 25 years. If you prefer ebooks, look for Brooks Kubic's best-selling courses at Amazon's Kindle bookstore. Show your support for Physical Culture Radio by going to brookskubic.com right now.
Move over, superheroes. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Welcome back to Science for Humans. Next week, we're going to have Dr. Jeff do a special episode of Superhuman Radio. We have lots of people talking about contest prep and training, but the secrets of the pump room is something that no one talks about. Many of us like to get a good pump on before we go out at night because we want to look our best. Some of us are competitors that are going to be doing our first competition soon. One of the things that nobody talks about is the right way to get your pump on. There's a science to it. In fact, back in the day, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and who is the French bodybuilder, Dr. Jeff? Do you know what I'm talking about? The black guy? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, boy.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, back in the day, it was said that they used to play mind games with each other because they would try to get each other to do the wrong pump routine because it would actually flatten you out. So next week, we're going to have a special episode with Dr. Jeff on to talk about the secrets of the pump room. If you want to get your pump on before you get on stage or before you go out on a Friday night, we're going to give you the answers and the secrets next week. So, okay. Let's get back to the discussion here at hand, and that is the condition of type 2 diabetes. So let's just hit it. So what are some of the things that seem to help people reverse this condition?
Well, first of all, I want to stress something. We've got to get over the TV commercial, the Hollywood image, the perceived notion that it's okay to be who you are. No, it's not. Smoking causes cancer. Being overweight causes diabetes. I mean, there's something we can do about it. It's not okay. I understand that, it's difficult. You may have an injury, but you know what? Everybody can do something about it. It just takes a little bit of discipline.
Yes.
So the first thing, you got to get off the couch. If you got time to sit and watch O'Reilly, you got time to exercise. And you don't even need to go to the gym. You don't even need to go outside. You can walk around your living room. So that's the first thing is, Carl, we got to get up. We got to get moving. We got to do some exercise. We got to get that blood flowing,
Yes. And do you know there are 3 well-done studies that all show that getting up and moving immediately after a meal causes a greater blood glucose drop than metformin?
Absolutely. Even on long flights, even though it's more for blood clots, it keeps your blood flow. Even if you couldn't get out of a chair, there's exercises you could do just sitting in your chair. But the point is most of us, don't want to take the time because it's too much of an effort. And I don't think anyone is more busy than you or I, Carl, and we still find time after work or in the morning to exercise. So again, if you do nothing else, exercise. Get up 2-3 days a week. Go for a walk outside. Walk around your living room. Walk in place. Do jumping jacks.
Okay.
Anyhow, the second thing is we got to watch what goes into our mouth. Fried foods, fatty foods, bad oils, butters, those things lead to obesity. We've got to get on a more healthier diet. In a couple weeks, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. But, you've got to keep your protein 1 gram per pound, good quality carbohydrates, and healthy fats.
Well, when I want to talk about Carbolin for a second, I know you weren't prepared to do this. I'm going to drop a bomb on you, but I want to mention one other thing real quick. If you are suffering from type 2 diabetes, you need to think of yourself as the same person who's lactose intolerant. The person who's lactose intolerant, they can't drink and eat a lot of dairy because it makes them sick. If you are type 2 diabetic, it means that you're having a hard time managing the average carbohydrate. You need to think of yourself as carbohydrate intolerant. You need to think of yourself in the sense that you need to cut the carbs, the bad carbs back as much as possible and increase the protein and the healthy fats like avocados and olive oil and stuff. But you have to know what good carbs are and what bad carbs are in order to do that. Now, you have engaged in a clinical trial with Carbolin in type 2 diabetics, haven't you?
We have. We're now in our 4th stage. The first 2 stages were with healthy adults and with pre-diabetics. So what we did is we fed them 50 grams of Carbolin, and they got on a treadmill for 2 hours. We've got a butterfly in, and we're drawing blood, so we're checking glucose levels. We want to see how quickly does that glucose spike, and then what does it do compared to against our controlled, which was glucose, sugar. The pre-diabetics all started, again, this is, meaning if you're higher than normal, you're a pre-diabetic. They all started in that high range. At the end of 2 hours, they were completely normal. So we're calling Carbolin a designer sugar because it normalized their blood sugar levels.
As compared to glucose.
How about that?
As compared to glucose.
Glucose, they stayed high. They spiked up and down. You saw the spikes from, sugar that you would normally see. Mm-hmm. So the third trial was a diabetic group, and we wanted to see how the onset. So these are people that have full-blown diabetes. They had to go off insulin or any of their type of, GLP-1s or T2 inhibitors. And we did the same thing. Glucose, yes, they spiked and their levels were extremely high. Carbolin, they spiked like we wanted it to, but they started to come down normal. So we saw some great advancement of normalizing. Now, the study we're going to be conducting right now is we're going to take that out long enough to see if we can normalize regular type 2 diabetes people who are taking, insulin or some type of drug. But so far, everything has been really, really interesting to see how this actually works to normalize your sugar levels.
So this is an example of not all carbohydrates are the same. So those who have type 2 diabetes need to understand what are considered high glycemic index carbohydrates that cause a rise and sustained elevation of blood sugar, and you need to eliminate those from your diet completely.
Yes, and exercise.
That's really it. If you eliminate the sugar, if you eliminate the bad starches, if you eliminate the bad carbohydrates completely, and you actually exercise every single day, you will see a change in your blood sugar levels without drugs. But no one wants to work that hard. That baffles me. Why would you want to speed yourself into the grave if you don't have to? The drugs don't slow down the damage that this condition does.
If you've got pre-diabetes, you got type 2, you want some help on, what should I eat, or, what exercises, send me an email. That's what this show is about, is providing you with information. And then the follow-up, it's very difficult for us to talk, in specifics about what exercises you should do. But if you send me an email, it's free. I'm here to help you. So I can give you some good tips and get you on the road to reversing that diabetes and getting you off your medicine.
And you can do that by going to superhumanradio.com. At the bottom right-hand side of the website, you'll see a picture of the handsome Dr. Jeff. It says, Ask the Scientist. Click that banner ad and ask him for help with your type 2 diabetes. Ask him for answers. Or ask him for a sample of Carbolin.
Yeah, I'd love to send you a Carbolin. I got plenty of samples. I think you enjoy it. And as this research finishes and we get published, we'll do a show just on that where we'll actually present, and I think it'll be pretty astounding.
Thank you for being on the air today, Dr. Jeff.
Thank you much.
Talk to you soon.